Oh, go. NXT went off the air. Hey, everybody, real quick. It is a new year. Happy New Year. It's 2026. This is the first episode of the NXT duo. And we're going to talk about this lovely show called New Year's Evil. It just went off the air. We're going to talk about this match card. We had the Women's Championship on the line. Jayne going against Kendal Gray. We had Thea Hail defending her Women's North American Championship. As you're starting to hear, there's a theme here. The women were taking over tonight. We had a singles match with Tutam Paxley and Izzi Dame. We're going to talk about and wonder if that feud is over with. And for the main event, we had Oba Femi defending his NXT Championship against TNA's Leon Slater. I look forward to talking about this show with you guys. Let's take down this lovely graphic. I think it's already spoiled who has taken the Women's North American Championship. And I can't wait to hear what my co-hosts have to say, because I know she's a huge fan of Izzi Dame. But let's remove this. I'm one of your hosts, the great Grand Slam Poobah. Hi, everybody. And I'm joined with the sensational Sabrina Estella. Sabrina Estella, darling, Happy New Year. Hope your holidays was well. How the heck are you?
Well, it's the new year. Yes, it is. And you still like to say that I am a fan of the tall, boring Izzy.
You got to see her twice tonight, too. Because we're going to get into it, but she opened up the show, and then middle of the show, she gets an opportunity. And I look forward to talking about NXT. I thought NXT New Year's Evil was a fun show, and something I wanted to do before we talk about NXT of New Year's Evil of this year. Let's run down last year's card. I got some quick notes here, and just show you how everything changes in the year, right? Like, things change. Things could change in a year, 5 months, 6 months, whatever. Things change all the time, right? So for the card for last year, we had Julia. She defeated Roxanne Perez to win the NXT Women's Championship. Julia now, who is both Julia and Roxanne are on the main roster. We had a fatal four-way to determine the number one contender for the NXT Women's North American Championship. We had Stephanie Vaquera, who is on the main roster, Cora Jade, who is no longer with the company, Kalani Jordan, who's still here, and Lola Vice. And we're going to talk about them because they are beefing. So once again, shows you how things change in a year. Last year also, we had a 6 women's tag match. We had Gigi Dolan, Shotzi, who is the HOG Women's Champion right about now, if I'm correct. She won that championship. I think she even changed the strap to green, which is fitting for her because, her hair is green. And Tutam Paxley, we'll talk about her as well. And it defeated Fatal Influence. Very heartbreaking stuff for me to read out here, folks. But once again, show you how things change in the year. Last year, we had Fatal Influence of Fallon Henley, Jacy Jayne, and Jasmine Nix. And this year, we have Jacy Jayne, who I saw in the news. I don't really read dirt sheets and all that stuff, right? But they're saying there's a conversation about her going to the main roster. We'll talk about that if you're interested about that. And also, Blake Monroe. Also, last year, we had Lexus King. He defeated Charlie Dempsey, and it was a sudden death for the NXT Heritage Cup, which is not even a thing anymore. I think they threw that in the sea, if I'm correct. I don't know. I just know we don't see it on TV anymore. And lastly, we had Oba Femi. Well, originally it was Trick Williams going against Andy Thorpe. It was for the NXT Championship. Oba Femi cashed in his Iron Survivor contract, and he was the third man, and he won. And he won again. I think when it comes to New Year's Evil, Oba Femi just don't lose. That's just kind of not his thing to do. So let's talk about it. We have Said in the chat. What's going on, Said? What's going on? Happy New Year's, my friend. He said Thea needs a rematch ASAP. How do you feel about that one, Sabrina Styler?
Well, let's see. Mariah Monroe didn't even want to have a match because she felt butthurt about what happened when she lost the belt. And so she decided, instead of actually fighting for the belt that I've been whining and moaning and groaning and complaining about that I want back, I'm going to beat up Thea Hail because if I can't have it, nobody can, kind of deal. I feel
I
like with
got
her, They saw what was happening with Tony Storm and AEW and were like, we're gonna make her act all crazy like Tony Storm does. And just like,
I
you
gotta
let
say,
Tony go. She's successful over there. You bring
mhm.
Mariah May Monroe here, and now she's almost somewhat like a carbon copy.
I do have to say though, I will, and we'll talk about because it wasn't even really a match, and obviously let you
It
take the
was an
floor.
it was a beat down that of a
It
match
was.
that didn't even happen.
Yeah, at first when it all happened, I was wondering if, hey, maybe they're just trying to, because I didn't know if someone got hurt or anything like that, not realizing what kind of segment that they were going into later. So when I saw all that, and I was like, okay, so we're not going to get the match. And then later on, I'm just scrolling through social media mindlessly, and I'm scrolling and I see possibility of her being called up, and I said, wow, that would be something if that was the last image that we got of her in NXT, that she just beats up Thea. She never gets her championship back, and she has been banned from the Performance Center. So why don't you take the floor here once, Sabrina Estella? The floor is yours, madam.
Well, I mean, we basically talked about what had happened. We have the setup for everything for the Women's North American Championship match, but Mariah Monroe had to ruin our fun with that. And we saw what that ruining of fun cost her. So you thought you had it down, but you lost your chance to have the belt again because even if she were to go up against Izzy Dame, everybody's gonna be cheering for Mariah Monroe because nobody likes Izzy. But after that, we have absolute Ricky Saints making his entrance and getting on the mic. He says he thought he'd come out here and give everyone a very special gift by kicking off the first NXT of 2026. He knows that we feel some kind of way about him, honestly, but last year he really needed NXT, and now NXT needs him since Devon bounced his way up into the Raw roster and Trick whooped his way up to the SmackDown roster to be with his lovely lady. He says they chose free agency because they know they can't compete because they don't compare, and he cannot blame them. But he is not going anywhere. The indie cats in the back need to be aware that they might be talented, but they are not absolute. He is who he says he is, and he's going to keep proving that for this year. It's abundantly clear that it's natural born stars against the stars they try to create, and he knows how this ends. And discusses Leon versus Oba. He doesn't care about either of them, but Leon, if he wins, he's going to handle you. But for Oba, it's still 1-1, and that don't sit well with him. He slips but never falls, and regardless who wins, NXT is going to be in his hands as well as the championship. And that is absolute.
When Ricky gets on the mic, I mean, he's a great talker. He said a lot of things, and I think he's going to have to deal with that him and Oba 1-1 because we'll talk about it later, but it looked like Oba pretty much gave his papers and said, peace out, guys. So he's going to have to deal with that. It's fine. And look, Trick, I'm so sorry, Ricky. I got to take that T off. Tricky Ricky. Um, you know, um, I'm interested in seeing what I don't have a vision on what's gonna look like with him in NXT for the next few months because I just don't think he's gonna be down there long. I think he does get called up. I don't have a time period for him on to the main roster, but I do say before the year is up, I do definitely see him being called up to the main roster. So I'm interested in seeing where everything goes for him.
It shall be an interesting thing to see. If he does get called up, like you say,
Mhm.
in this year, maybe towards the end of the year,
Sure.
to give him some more time to do some more down there, maybe have another title reign with either title, have a great main event match for a NXT PLE. We shall see.
With the possibility he could be called up maybe after Stand Deliver, but I do want to sit here and say because he did mention Javon. So I thought it was so interesting. Towards the end of 2025, I'm like, man, what's 2026 of and we're still new into the year, right? But I'm like, man, what does 2026 for NXT look like? Like I know these people I see these people being called up. What does that mean for this? And Javon is someone I was saying, like, he could stay in NXT. Um, I mean, he don't even have to stay for the whole 2026, right? But to me, he could have stayed towards the end of the summer, beginning of the fall, and then being called up. So him being called up so quickly, to me, I don't think it's a bad idea, but I would have personally kept him down there longer because one, he's young. He's 21 years old. You don't even have to rush anything like that. You can keep him down there for another year if you wanted to. But if you're really desperate and like, yeah, we need some new faces. We need some new energy here, and he's a different kind of energy. Um, and he and I didn't see it on because I have Raw and I have Netflix with commercials, so I know if you have VPN and stuff like that, you get uh the full show without commercials and everything like that. But I'm poor, so I don't have that. And he signed his contract on Raw, and I'm just like, oh, I guess we're never gonna get that. And I feel like there was an arc in NXT that wasn't touched on with Javon. Like him climbing up and winning the NXT Championship. But I do sit here and say salutes to the young man and good luck on the main roster. I hope that they treat him well.
Well, I mean, everybody's happy for him, family included. I mean, his mother even posted something earlier in the day. She says, the first time our son signed his WWE NXT contract, it was on our kitchen table with the Fantastic Four there to witness. The second WWE contract he signed was last night for Raw, and it was in front of the entire world. 2 years from kitchen tables to major stages, but even years before was putting in work. We always knew the world is just catching up. Malachi
Love that.
Jeffers, proud is a whole understatement. Soar, son, soar.
Love that. Love that for the young man. So good luck. I still think there was still some unfinished business in NXT, but let's see what he could do on Monday night Raw. We got here in the chat, George. What's going on, my friend? We hope all is well with you, sir. Happy New Year's. Um, Happy New Year's right back at you. He says Happy New Year's, gang. We got congratulations, Javon Evans, for making it to the main roster. Yeah, no, congrats. Congrats. Like I said, I would have just held off a little bit. I think there's other people. I think I would have called Ricky and Ethan before him. Um, but
Well, they clearly see something in him now that they were just like, we can't wait.
yeah, I think what it is that he's young and he just has this different energy. I mean, when he jumps around and he's bouncy and stuff. And one of the things I remember, I saw a video of him. It's when they were out here in New York. And I want to say it was like the opening round for the last time is now tournament, and he was facing Gunther, and someone was talking to him, say, yo, you know what people like about you, because you're just authentic, like you're just you're not, you can tell it's not an act. And I think that's why a lot of people are a fan of, not everyone. I mean, we have someone in our
We
bubble that's
have the
not.
president of the I Hate Devon Evans fan club in our unpopular review family. So good news for you, you don't have to see him on Tuesdays. Bad news for you, you have to see him on Mondays whenever you watch Monday Night
and,
Raw
and,
on
and
your Netflix account.
And poor guy. I mean, he has no hair. He's a part of the ball syndicate. Because I would say he's going to rip the remainder of his hair, but he has no hair, so he has nothing to rip. He might rip the armpit hair because, like, that's the only hair I can imagine that he has. Or maybe he just shines his head like a bowling ball. Like what's that thing they use? I think it's wax on a. Cause I just image bald headed people. They just like put wax on their head and they just put a towel and do it like that. We got
Like a
our good.
bowling ball.
Yeah, he's a bowling ball head. Yeah, bowling ball head. Just let me just put 3 dots in the middle of his head, like just right there, and just boom, it's a bowling ball. We got MDB999. It's always great to make you laugh, Sabrina Stella. I love doing that. That's kind of my job. He says Happy New Year's to Sabrina. Happy New Year's to Jack in his armchair. Wow, the New Year's just started, my friend, and you just sat here and said I picked danger, and you are in danger, sir. Trying to think you can sit here and say that to me and get away with that. You know what? I hope that, I hope your new year starts off well and then it gets ruined because you forget to close your refrigerator door and all your food gets spoiled. And everyone knows that is a terrible thing because no one likes ruined food. Oh, you're talking about the executive consultant? Yeah, he's not a big fan of
No,
the
he's
young
made
guy.
it very loud and clear how much he does not care for Javon Evans. He makes multiple comments whenever Ricky attacked him very violently and practically destroyed the ever living daylights out of him. He was just like, why didn't he do more? Well, too bad he didn't do enough because he's up to the main roster.
That's right. Oh, I'm in danger. Someone called the Power Rangers. Well, if they call the Power Rangers, the only ones I'm going to fear is Mighty Morphin. I can't take them seriously once they got lost in space because I said, you're idiots. How did you get lost in space? Did you like Lost in Space, Sabrina Stella? Because I think they're
I
idiots.
don't remember too much of that series of it. If you were to ask me about a few other ones after that, then I could tell you. But
Well,
that one, I didn't really watch too much of that one.
you always get me with the ones when I want to say it's like after '02, like Wild Force and what was it called SPD. I
Yes,
almost
the
said
one
I
with
almost
it where it was set in last year, funny enough.
oh, it was in last. Oh, okay, cool. I'm laughing because
The
I said
times
SPD.
that they set it for was 2025,
Oh,
and
really?
we don't have none of that now.
I'm not even gonna hold you. I said SPD, and I'm so glad because I almost said STD, and I said I don't think they would call the Rangers that. Javon didn't win a title in NXT. Am I supposed to believe he'll win a title on the main roster? I'm sure he'll stash away in a tag team. I mean, there's a possibility he can win a championship. Look, there's been plenty of people who didn't win a championship in NXT. Look at Alexa Bliss. She had a little run in NXT when she got called up. Then she won a lot of titles when she was on the main roster. And there's probably some other names. I just
As
can't think
far
of
as
what to
I know, Liv Morgan didn't win a title over in
Liv
NXT.
Morgan. Thank you. That's a
And
good
look
one.
at her now.
Love Power Rangers. Good. Chris says he loves Power Ranger. George says he like Mystic Force. Okay.
Yes,
This was
that
the
one was a
first
good
time.
one. I sent you a
I,
picture of that
you
one,
did.
and you liked it because they had the capes.
Oh, they had the
They,
capes. Oh,
that's
I love
them.
that. There we go. They had capes. Oh, I love that.
Listen, and I believe they're the only ones in the entire franchise that have capes.
Do you remember this one? Oh, that's what SPD stand for? Oh, okay. Was
Space
that?
Patrol Delta.
Oh, okay. I never knew what it meant. But Power Rangers getting a reboot on Disney. Oh, really? Okay. Like, and that's
Look,
another one.
another one,
Bianca.
Bianca Belair.
I like this, Carmelo. So I do think that you don't have to win a championship. It's still possible that you can win a championship on the main roster. I'm glad that you guys are pointing out because there's a few I couldn't think of. But right, Carmelo, that was great. That ending was a shocker. We're going to talk about it. Liv Morgan, yes. And I'm sorry, the best, here we go. Best season of Power Ranger RPM, though. All right.
I
These
didn't
were
watch
great.
RPM. I stopped
I was going
watching
to say
after Mystic Force.
Dino Thunder. See, this is
That
the
was a
thing.
good one. That was Tommy's last time as a Ranger before what had
Mighty
happened.
Morphin. See, Mighty Morphin was my favorite, but Tommy, I know everyone likes Tommy, but I used to hate Tommy because he stole Jason's thunder. Jason was the leader of the Power Rangers. All of a sudden, Tommy got a little popularity. He got too big for his belt and britches, and I said, Tommy Oliver, I will dislike you for the rest of my life. But I do say the actor, shout out to him. He's no longer with us, but he was a fan of his fans, and I love that about him. But Tommy stole from Jason, and I wasn't a fan of that. Jason didn't have no. Jason had no thunder to be good. MD. You know what? You've just lost the
He
M. Now
just
he's
wants
just
to
D.
make you mad. He
He's
just wants
very
to
good
make
at
you
it.
mad.
He's very good at that. He's worked me up. I've worked up a sweat. I literally have sweat underneath one of my boobs. What is the next episode? I mean, the next segment.
Well, after this, we had Ava Raine hunting down Mariah May Monroe to yell at her. And Mariah May said, "You asked for the glamour, and the glamour brings hell with her, so just give her the title back already." And she said, "Well, just for that, you're not getting your match, and you're banned from the building."
Wow.
She wanted you to bring the glamour to the ring. No one told you to get yourself banned from the building and have your match being taken away from you altogether. Like, girl, come on. You know better than that.
Isn't that crazy though? This is possibly the last time we see her in NXT. Possibly. Because I don't know. They said this thoughts and stuff like that. And I was reading something on I think it was like X or something like that, and saying like, hey, this could be the last time. Now I don't know for sure because
Well, I
I don't
mean,
have no
with
sources.
with her and Javon and possibly Jordan Grace, people that have been
Mm-hmm.
seasoned in the indies could be getting called up very soon into being into NXT and not having won a belt. Talking about Javon and Jordan before anybody says, "Oh, but Mariah May did win a title." I know.
I wanted to highlight this was said. He said, y'all didn't name any. Well, someone in the chat put Enzo. I forget who did it, but Enzo was someone. We didn't say it out loud. Didn't win any. But I mean, I think the comment still stands that you can be in NXT, not win a championship, and things change on the main roster.
Well,
Doesn't
this
matter
was
if you're a
during the
male or
time
female.
also when men were treated a little better in the rosters, and the women had to prove themselves a million times over that they were more than just pretty faces that could have bikini matches or wrestle in jello or have ridiculous costume contests or
Mhm.
have the diva search kind of thing
That's fair.
or
So I
have
just
tough
wanted to
enough.
highlight them. Oh, tough enough. The glamour bought the hammer. George says the Glamour could get called up to the main roster. It's looking that way. Oh, I already highlighted this. I just wanted to get to this one. We got Jordan Grace was mentioned to be. Yeah, she's going to be called up. I don't know
Well, they
what.
did put her on TV last weekend, so
She was on. I thought it was the funniest thing because Jordan Grace, she confronts Jade, and Jade said, "I'm that bitch," and she said, "Well, I'm Jordan Grace," and yes, you are. I said, "Okay." Just I don't know. I just thought it was so funny. I was like, "That's the comeback." There we go. There we go. 1 out of 500. I think Seth just wanted us to name a whole bunch of guys. Men make up 90% of the roster. What else do we
I
have
mean, they
here?
can make up the roster, but sometimes the women are just a little more memorable. I put up matches on my channel. Guess which ones get more views? Men
The women?
or women's matches?
No, the women be killing it. The women be killing it. I thought the women killed it tonight.
Listen, the sometimes even the one of the women's matches can be one of the worst, which I'm not saying it is, but some people might think that it's one of the worst and they'll still get more views because it's women. And
That's
speaking of
true.
women's wrestling, we have Izzi Dame versus Tutam Paxley, which when I saw Tatum come out in what she was wearing, I immediately thought of Kuromi from Hello Kitty. And I will pull up a picture like a Kuromi, very like gothic Hello Kitty type
Do you
vibe.
do you like Hello Kitty?
I grew up on Hello Kitty
I never liked Hello Kitty. She don't have a
because,
mouth.
well, it was designed that way.
Who is that supposed to be? Bad Kitty?
No, this is Kuromi. This is a different character in the Hello Kitty world.
Is she good? Like, is she
No,
bad? Is she?
she's supposed to be the bad guy of
But
another
I'm the bad
character,
guy. Oh, sorry.
but she's a self-proclaimed rival of a different character. And
Okay.
this is the one that some people are saying is going to be like the next big one that blows up after Hello Kitty did,
Oh,
which started off as a sketch,
but she's a part of
part
the
of the
Hello Kitty
same.
world. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. All right. No, I wanted to be
I mean,
sure.
once upon a time ago for Hello Kitty, people were turning down the character in the sketch because it looked too childish. And look what happened. It blew up and became one of the biggest franchises. This sketch got rejected 47 times. It's worth $80 billion.
Whoa. Okay. Well, she pointed out Hello Kitty. I thought she did speak. I thought the character
She did
spoke.
in in the movies and the little TV shows that they made for it.
Oh, but she's not supposed to talk.
Well, in when they first did that stuff, they had it kind of silent, but then yes, they did have some movies and stuff where they had her talk.
Okay. No, I just wanted to make sure that I wasn't like out of my mind because I sworn I heard her talk. That's all. My bad.
And you are not out of your mind. I grew up watching some of the movies and the little TV episode things, so.
I just always took a dislike because she didn't have a mouth. And then one day she had a mouth. I saw this really disgusting thing. Can I just say before we talk about this match, one Tatum Paxley against Izzy Dane. And by the way, autocorrect is actually pretty hilarious on my phone because I was trying to put some notes together, right? Just so for the show. And I went out to put Izzy Dane. You know what the phone changed her name to? Pizza Dane. And I immediately said, that don't sound right. And I changed it because I said, stop being too smart, phone. But I was watching something on YouTube one day, and I was watching this video of Hello Kitty. And Hello Kitty, she's trying to eat some food, but she can't eat because she don't have a mouth. And you know what she does? She get a knife and just cuts it and have a mouth. And I said,
Okay,
wow,
you probably watched one of the horror videos, like somebody
it
did of
it
like
it,
that.
it creeped
That's
me out. I know
well,
that's
then
not
that's
Hello
why you
Kitty.
don't look for those. That's why you don't look for those.
I
Those
didn't
ones will
look
ruin
for
your
that.
childhood.
I didn't look for that. YouTube did that to me. I can't help YouTube.
Well, then,
Don't care about
well, if it
my
says it's like
thing.
a
They don't care
scary
about my
version of it,
mind.
then you just stick away from it. But
I'm
I just
curious like
got
the
that
cat.
vibe of what she was wearing, and then of course she was wearing all black because that's the color of her soul when she's in the ring and in character. But they had good chemistry. It was a good back and forth between the two of them.
Yeah.
And it was just like a back and forth. I really didn't have much to say. Although at the end, when she did the 450, you could see that she did miss Izzy, but Izzy still made it look like she got hit.
Mhm.
But via Cemetery Drive, Tatum Paxley beats the feud.
I wonder because
for now at least.
MDB, he's quite hilarious here. He said, "Hello Kitty versus Bluey in a steel cage match."
Okay,
You know,
we're
I
not
might
doing that.
I might have to bring back booking with Jack. I remember like the last one I did was Nicki Minaj against Little Kim, or what I called old Nicki Minaj.
Well, I mean, now
Uh,
it's literally Nicki Minaj versus the world.
I know. I saw. It is. Why Jack want to know where? I don't want to know what her mouth do. I just want to know where her mouth is at. Laughter. Nah, Jack, you looked that up. You just start shit with me, dude. You please. What's this discussion about? Hello Kitty. Jack was
I
watching
brought
Hello.
up what Tatum she
Oh,
reminded me of, and then it got brought up.
but the match was fine. I mean, look, these guys they've been feuding since what, October, and I don't think this is it. I don't think this is
No,
done.
it's
I
not
think
it because now that she has that belt, Tatum's going to go after her too to try to take everything that Izzy holds near and
what
dear
the
to
hell
her,
can
which is not a lot, by the way.
we
It's not a lot.
what the hell be going on here in Florida where you could walk around with a chainsaw like that? Like she walks around with a chainsaw. Like I know we're jumping the gun here a little bit, but when Tatum, not Tatum, when Thea was like, "Hey, open challenge, right? Cool, bet. Let's have an open challenge." And then all these girls are there. I would move too if I saw someone with a chainsaw. Like, why do you just have one? Like the only time I ever saw a chainsaw is when I watched Looney Tunes. I've never seen one in real life. I didn't think it was real. And then you hear vroom, vroom. Matter of fact, didn't they have that in what's that movie called? The Chainsaw Massacre or something like that?
The
I
Texas
forget.
Chainsaw Massacre.
Texas. I know that's why I hated Texas. I just like Texas. But they have Jack in the Box, so that's why I go. Because they have Jacks in
And
the
then
Box.
when you think of chainsaws, some people think of the Japanese anime Chainsaw Man, which I tried watching.
Did
It's
you
the
like that?
movie that came out. I couldn't finish watching the show, but I liked the movie that it came out.
Chainsaw Charlie had one. There was that one guy in God, what was that group called? Everyone hated Retribution. I think it was called, right? I'm sorry, I just can't remember all these wrestling groups. And one of them had a chainsaw. No, I have never seen a real one. Why would I have a chainsaw? What am I going to do? Chop trees down? No, I don't do it. But
You
the
know
match
what's
was fine.
funny? In the beginning of Chainsaw Man, the main character has a little tiny like dog demon like creature that has a chainsaw on its head and he uses it to cut down trees.
Cut down trees. Poor tree. I can just imagine a tree just being like, "Come on, bro. Like, why are you messing with me? I'm just standing here. I'm rooted to the ground. Raise the root." That's my dad humor. What else do we have here before I keep drowning here?
Well, we gonna keep drowning and it's gonna be going for a while and I'm gonna show you pictures of the character that I just mentioned.
That looked like a Pikachu with a chainsaw. Well, not a Pikachu.
Well, it's kind of like a dog-like creature. So,
And he's part of Chainsaw Man.
yes, that is the
Wow.
literal Chainsaw Man
So
mascot.
what is this thing and what is this universe? Does everyone just have a chainsaw? Like, does
I'll
everyone?
we'll discuss this off the air because otherwise we'll be here too long.
All
But
right. What do we got here?
we got a quick little hype reel for a French luchador whose
Mm-hmm.
original name was Ag Aglio Blanc. I don't know how to pronounce the first name, so I've obviously butchered that part. Who is now going by Elio Lafleur, which thank God that's easier to say, where he promises he's here to slash the sky. And we have Ava Rain meeting with Thea Hail and Jordan Grace. And Ava says that Thea's match is postponed until she is good to go. And Thea begs her to let her fight. And Ava has to tell her, "Girl, I'm being Monroe for the building. What you talking about?" And Thea's like, "Bring her back in the building anyway. I want to have our match." And she's, I'm not rewarding no good bad behavior. And then so Thea says, "I'm going to bring back the open challenges." And Ava tries to talk her out of it. But Jordan says her mind is set, so we might as well let her fight. And Ava says, "All right, let's make it official for later."
I will say right here in this spot, I know like obviously it was a different result, but part of me said, "Oh, it looked like Jordan's going to like get a championship match and get the championship because with her being called up, and I would ask you guys in the chat, what does she really do in NXT since she's been with NXT? She had some matches, but she hasn't won a lot. She didn't win no championship.
Had some
So
solid feuds, had some
yeah,
good
she
PLE
did.
matches.
She did, but it seemed like like she had a lot of fanfare coming in last year, right? She comes in, and I forget which like pay per view or show it was because it was the show, and
It was
you know
two
you have
years
Stephanie.
ago, actually,
It was
at the
last
Royal Rumble.
Royal Rumble, and that was the Royal Rumble that we were at. Yes, and she was the
Yes.
TNA Knockout Champion. But I meant like when she officially came to NXT, and it was a show. I want to say it was the show in February, and like because I remember Julia and Stephanie were in the ring, and she comes out, and there was like a lot of fanfare and everything like that. But she didn't do a whole heck of a lot. So I guess in my mind, I was like, oh, maybe she wins the championship, and she could say she did something in NXT because I just felt like she hasn't. But obviously, I was wrong on that is what I'm trying to get at. Okay, Jeffrey agrees. He said he thought I'm sorry, not Jeffrey. Yeah, we thought Jeffrey was gonna go for the championship, but he thought Jordan Grace was going after the championship too. It was just something where it just seemed like they were going in that direction, and obviously was wrong. But you know, Ava, I love taking my chance at awful Ava. You know, she does a horrible job. She says, I don't reward bad behavior. What are you talking about? I've been watching the show for years, and you have done such the opposite. And you know, I know it's 2026. People say new year, new me. I say absolutely not. I don't have to change because there's nothing wrong with me. So I sit here and say, Ava, stop lying. Leave that in the, you know, Ava just told the greatest lie in 2026. Maybe a candidate for 2027. But what's happening next? My throat hurts.
Well, let's see. So last year, it was around late January last year that she officially signed with NXT. But after that little tidbit is when we had your favorite versus the WWE Evolve Women's Champion in Miss Kendal Gray. Kendall did her absolute best right off the bat to put her in an armbar, put her in a waist lock takedown, another cross armbar, and it was a good back and forth. And with talks of Jacy potentially being called up to the main roster, it's like, who would be the next one to be the face of the women's division, so to speak? But she, Kendall, does her absolute best. She does take out everybody in Fatal Influence with the moonsault on the floor. And she did a valiant effort. And Ren comes in, helps out with Kendall. Fallon and Laney are helping. And things happen, but Fallon helps. And Jacy won with the rolling elbow and retains the NXT Women's Champion. Now, before you say that I said, oh, Jacy had Fallon help her, I'm only reading what it says on the blog, so.
Well, I mean, whoever that blog is probably looked like a blog. I will sit here and say this. Kendall Gray looked great here. Kendall Gray, I think, is going to be. It's crazy to say call up, right? Because NXT
She's
is like
going
you
to
could call
get
it from.
called in from being on Evolve to officially being on the NXT roster. So we'll just have to see
Absolutely
who's going to take the belt off of Kendall. Which one are they going to take the belt off of Jackson Drake? That's just me.
right. We didn't even
And
talk about that because
we,
they were in the office, in Ava's office too. What I say swipe
unfortunately,
right, but I know they have a whole nother name. What's it called? It's called the
the
eternity or
Vanity
something.
Project, that's what the three
Right,
of them
Vanity.
call themselves.
Okay, yeah. So I
The only
mean, like,
vanity is they have is that every mirror they look at breaks and gives them 7 years bad luck each.
that's terrible.
Well, I don't
But
like them. They're annoying, which means they're doing their job.
no, they're doing a fantastic job. I think I can see them. Look, the way how they are, it seemed like they're
Swiping
getting.
left off my TV screen.
Oh, you have a touch TV where you just do it like that, like you just do it like
I
that.
wish. Then I could swipe them off my TV.
Just wipe them off. That's hilarious. You know, in a few years, I feel like you could like in a few years they're gonna have TV where you can put your hand in and you can just remove characters off certain things. But um, sorry, I had soup. I see you know, Kendall Gray. I definitely see her being on the NXT roster before the year is up. You know, she drops the championship. Same thing with because I know
Jackson
Jackson
Drake.
Drake. I'm not super familiar with people in Evolve. I just don't watch Evolve, but I've seen some of them, and I'm like, oh, I can see that. What's the young lady's name? Armstrong. Is it Callie Armstrong?
Callie Armstrong.
And she was there tonight, and I could see her being there a lot. There's a lot of Evolve
Well, she
superstar,
was the inaugural Women's Evolved champion, so
right? And I
I
could see
just
her.
hope, I
Yes,
just hope That
Hmm.
they do not play hot potato with that belt, just like they're doing with the Women's United States Championship right now, because all they're doing is playing hot potato with it, because the only three women that have held that belt are Chelsea Green, Selena Vega, and Julia.
I feel like, and you talk about Evolve, right? I'm sorry, you talk about Evolve or NXT?
Well, for the Women's United States
Hmm.
Championship, I brought that up. But I just mean, like,
Hmm.
in general, I don't like when they play hot potato with the titles, and especially with newly made titles. It's like you only had three people hold one belt, and you just passed it back twice to two of them that had the belts the first time before. We don't need
Understood.
to do that with Evolve, and we don't need to do that with the NXT Championships.
Understood. Noted. What was I gonna get at here? But yeah, I can see Kendall Gray being eventually called up. The match was good. I thought the match was great, and I love that for. I feel like a lot of people have lately. Like I know I'm the Jacy Jayne guy and all that stuff, right? But she's put on solid matches. Like ever since she's
Yes.
gotten an opportunity, like she throws out every chance she get. Like you guys didn't believe in me. You guys didn't see this. And once she had the opportunity, because I've had people, and I've always admitted I was never a day one. But once I started to see the talent and she was given an opportunity for different things, and I've had people write and be like, "Yo, I didn't know this, but I didn't see this, and I didn't notice that." And so I love that for her, and I thought that her and Kendall really did great. And look, I know how great JC is and stuff like that. I see her work. I don't see as much as Kendall's, but Kendall's great, and I think she's a killer. It's funny. I was thinking about this today. Um, Maxine Dupree and her both wear singlets, and really like Kendall Gray should be the one just doing the singlet stuff because her stuff looked fluid and incredible. Um,
Well, I mean, the
transition
only
from
reason why Maxine does the singlet thing is because she started off after being called up from
yeah,
being in NXT for just a hot minute as Sophia Cromwell.
right,
Because when they called her up after Maximum Male Models did not work out, she was wound up teaming with Alpha Academy. And
right. No, I know why. I
Chad
know
Gable
the
wears
reason of
singlets,
it.
so
I know the reason of why she does it and stuff. I was just saying, like, we got two ladies who do it, and I just think Kendall should do it.
well, I
Do
mean, the ladies either do a small top and shorts, or a small top and pants, or a small top and half short, half pants, which is not a problem when Jada Parker does it. It's not a problem when Asuka starts to do it, but it's a problem when Ren Sinclair did it because that was her thing before being signed, and she does not have a big enough posterior for that.
well, I don't know what's going on here. I don't know.
That
We got
some wrestling fans are gooners.
Well, they are. I can't speak for the Gooners. That's why I was like, huh? But Jeffrey asks, do you think Lena Reed will get a championship? I think so in due time.
Maybe
I do.
one day. It
I can
most
see.
likely maybe the Evolve Championship
I could have Laney Reed.
because right
Uh-huh.
now the North American Championship is being held by Izzy.
Mhm.
And unless Lainey wants to play the I want what my cohort has and try to take either the Speed Championship or the NXT Women's Championship off of Jacy's hands, she's stuck being the yellow one and fatal influence with no belt for a while.
If I could sit here and say, I have no issue with Izzy winning the North American Championship, but and we'll talk about one of the things that I kind of had a problem with that match about, but um, like Thea was hurt, and I think that would have been a great opportunity for Laney to win that championship. Because she was hurt. I mean, it was right there for
I
her. Like it wasn't
mean,
even like.
she could
So I do
have,
think
but
I think she could. I mean, I get that they had a whole nother direction, but I'm just looking at the like, hey, you kind of could have did that, but they went with Izzy instead, which is fine. I kind of just thought that they would kind of want to do something where all the girls got the championship, but it's
maybe
fine.
they
But to
don't feel
answer your
like
question,
Lainey is
I do,
100% ready yet.
and that's fine. And we'll get, and hopefully she gets there. I think that she's solid in the ring, and I just think as a character, she got. I've said before, I think she's a better fit than Jasmine Nix, and no disrespect to Jasmine Nix, but I just feel like she adds a little bit more to Fatal Influence. So I do think that her ceilings are high. But as we continue to talk here, let's do some plugs here. I can never. Okay, let's plug this, and then we're gonna plug one more thing. We're gonna talk some more NXT. I'm the great grandson of Pooh, she's the sensational Sabrina Estella, and we'll be talking to you right after some of these messages. did you hear that music? It was so
Yes.
calming and nice. It's fantastic. Join us April 17th to the 20th for our WrestleMania cruise. Get along. Well, I hope that if you get on the cruise, you do get along. That would be awful. Get together. We're going to be at sea watching WrestleMania. WrestleMania is pretty pricey, so if you can go, fantastic. If not, join us on sea to watch it. It should be a great time in April. And another plug we're going to do, we're going to plug all these things in early this Thursday, January 8th, 2026 at 8 p.m. I'm going to say 8ish because there's no way I think we're going exactly on 8. We kind of run on black people time, so it won't be at 8. It might be
Which is also
8:05.
Latin people time.
Which is Latin people time, black people time. All I'm saying is, if you expect us to be at 8 o'clock, what the hell is wrong with you? But join us for our UPR awards ceremony. We usually do it towards the end of the year, but we're doing things a little different here. And the MC, the host of the show, we have on Monday Night Raw, we have Z the Silent and my co-host one, Sabrina Stella. You guys are going to be hosting and MCing and stuff like that. I think that's fantastic. Let me take this down real quick. I want to sit here and say something to one, Z the Silent. Z the Silent is great. He does a fantastic job on Monday Night Raw. It's always great to see him. I never see Willie. Does he work here anymore? I don't know. You're asking the wrong guy. I don't even know
He's
who he is.
Listen. Willie, I love you, Willie. He's our Brock Lesnar,
I
who makes sporadic appearances every so often. Love you, Willie.
Oh my god.
I mean, what other way to say describe it?
Woo! I wish I had that deal. That is fantastic. But once the Sabrina Stella's going to host, but I want to say Z Sound does a fantastic job on Monday Night Raws, and for years, and I mean for years, he's been trying to get one Sabrina Stella to do a show with him, and he's getting it only on Thursdays because guess what, dog? Sabrina Stella's exclusive here the Tuesday night. So I have something for you. Let's read some of these comments. Oh my god, I think I just pulled a titty muscle. Let me what we got here. Oh man. I'm in such a jolly mood here. I think Lainey Reed will eventually get a championship when she branches off. That's fair. I think you gotta take your time with her. So that's fair. Fatal influence. We got Izzi Dame isn't going to be holding NXT Women's North American Champion for much longer. Well, she just got the title. Let's see what happens here, George. I feel like your crystal ball is always just darkness. It's like, yeah, I feel like if I was in your crystal ball, you would say, yeah, bad guy Jack walks and he just springs his ankle. Like, Jesus Christ, George. Did the NXT women's change or still? Yes, Jacy's still the champ. Jacy's still the champ. She's way better fit and Fatal Influence. Talking about Lainey Reed, I agree with that. Russell Cruz. We hope you could come out, Jeffrey. I would like to meet you in real life. You just seem like a dope dude. He sends me a lot of like cat memes and stuff like that, and I love that. So thank you for that all the time. We got George Fatal has run his course, in my opinion, and you're entitled to that. You're entitled to that. I think it's a great vehicle because it's done wonders for someone like Jasmine Nix and someone like Lainey Reed. So you know, I don't mind it being around. Me and George are gonna be fan of the year. Jeffrey, I don't know if we're doing dual champions of the year. I mean, champions. Jesus Christ, I'm so sorry. Fan of the year. I don't know. I'll be there for the award. We look forward to that, Jeffrey. We hope that you are there. I'll be watching the Miami Hurricanes versus Ole Miss and semifinal of college football players on Thursday. That's fine. You know, if you could put us in the background, that'd be cool. But nonetheless, enjoy your football game. We got the steaming got to Willie. I no, Willie ran out of steam. That's what the fuck happened. I mean, like Willie cracks me up, man. He's a funny dude, but check him out. I mean, when he's available, when Unc is available, he'll be on Monday nights. What else do we got? We talked about this women's championship match, but I thought it was a really solid match. Killed it and stuff like that. And you know, you hear the stuff about I was in this group chat. There's not the odd chat, but another one, and they were talking about the possibility of her being called up to the main roster. And I still stand that Jacy on Raw just seemed like a good fit for me. I say for me, a good fit for her. I think her being on Monday Night Raw put an end to Continental Championship division. You know, because sometimes I hear people and they're like, oh, so what, you don't put her in the World Championship picture? And it's like, you know what, dude? Sometimes you got to fill out all these other divisions, you know? Like, even right now with the divisions, you got like Charlotte and Alexa, their tag team. You have Rhea and Io. Like they're all filled up in this tag team division. I think it's so great that they've done a pretty decent job on trying to make this a division again, because there was the longest time that the women's tag team division didn't feel like a division. So I sit here and go like, well, how are we going to fill out these other divisions? Because like Julia and Chelsea can only face each other so many times, and who's the woman? Okay, Becky and
Maxine.
yeah, they can only do that so many times. You just need to like you need to do that. And look, SmackDown
Need
really
to
need
spice
women.
it up, need to mix it up, and need to put other people in. Maybe some that are being overlooked because now they're being used as practically managers,
Oh, like
like
Zelina.
say Candice LeRae or
Candice LeRae
Alba
is great.
Fire.
Candice LeRae is great. I like Candice
Alba
LeRae.
Fire was
Alba Fire's great.
Kaylee Lee Ray, one of the longest, strongest holding of the women's NXT UK Women's Championship belt. Brought her in NXT to take down Mandy, which I thought she was going to be the one. It never happened.
Oh
She
yeah, I
gets
remember that.
she
Yeah.
teams up with Isla. They become tag champions and then drops it quickly. And now she is just Chelsea's bodyguard.
If I could
Which,
say, when
if she's
she was,
having fun with it, she's having fun with it, which is fun.
right,
It's just have her do something
you
else
just know
besides
this.
wrestling in a suit.
You just know there's more for her. Like I really did like the tag team because it was definitely working well with her and I say Elba. What was Al Dawn?
Isla.
I thought that was yeah, I thought that was really great, and it was such a shame that they just let her go and just broke, especially when this division needs tag team. But I agree with Jeffrey too when he says Stephanie needs some challengers too. I agree. No,
Yeah,
totally.
she does. Her name is Raquel Rodriguez, who is going to beat the ever living crap out of her the next time she sees her with that leg
Oh,
brace again.
she was beating the hell out of her yesterday. Badly, badly. Matter of fact, I mean, it's the first time I ever really saw like the GM and the refs break down, because a lot of times they just break the leg and then the GM comes in after the leg has been broke. So good job, Kaylee Ray. Jeffrey says Kaylee Ray and Tony Storm had a great rivalry in NXT UK. I didn't watch a whole heck of a lot of NXT UK, so I take your word for it. What else do we have here? One Sabrina Stellar.
So after that, we had Ava Rain in her office greeting the last person she wanted to see today, All Ego Ethan Page. He talks with his title reign and his 12 title defenses and asks if he can finish his thoughts in the ring and gets out of her hair. And she asks, are you going to throw a tantrum? And he says, there is no catch. He's going to leave her office so the boys can come in, which are basically his lost boys at this point. Enter his
Boy.
vanity project. Jackson Drake says they're here to talk 2026. Thea Hale, she's hobbling and walking and taped up, and she makes her entrance for her open challenge. She says her win was controversial, and she devastated Mariah May Monroe. And she's devastated she was attacked because nobody wanted that match more than her, and she promised the title match. So damn it, she's going to give us a title match to prove that she deserves the NXT Women's North American Championship. So whoever wants a shot, get out here. Everybody comes in from the entrance, and Tutam Paxley with her chainsaw. I feel like she's embodying a little bit of Denji from Chainsaw Man, just without the chainsaw head and arms, which I will talk about later with you.
Okay.
But she is not fast enough because Sean Spears shoves Izzy into the ring from the other side. And then that's what starts out the match. And of course, Thea's just not gonna give up, but Izzy just picks her up like nothing, throws her into the corner, power slams her, and she held her own. She tried her absolute darndest. But with the Avalanche Spine Buster, Izzy Dame became our new women's NXT North American champion.
I can hear the joy just leaving your lips. But I will sit here and say this. My issue with the match was Thea was so damaged and beat up. Why was this a competitive match? I just felt like it didn't need to be that competitive. I thought it was a little bit too competitive for
Well,
me.
I mean, this is Izzy Dame we're talking about. She doesn't give a damn about anybody but Izzy Dame.
Right, but Izzy Dane should have went in there and maybe had a 2 3 minute match and just, I mean, beat this girl because
Well,
Thea,
I
like
mean,
you said, she wobbled in, she was hurt, like it was like for the
Thea
picture,
wanted to give the people a match. That's what she
and
wanted. She
that's
wanted
and
to
that
give the
and that's
people a
fine.
match. It almost
That's fine.
reminded me of the clip that I saw of the Bella Twins discussing when they had a tag match versus then known as Paige and Emma, and they were told to only do a 2 to 3 minute match with entrances
Mm.
and try to tell a story within 2 to 3 minutes. And they were like, we're not going to do that. We're just going to do a
But
finishing move, take her
right,
out, 1, 2, 3, and risk their careers for that. So they
I think
could
that
have
was
done something similar to that with Izzy, but they wanted to have Thea be like, no, I want to be a strong fighting champion and prove that my win, although controversial, is not a fluke, and I will be a fighting defending champion. So unfortunately,
and that's
Izzy
fine.
had
And
to be the one to show her
I
otherwise.
I sense what they were trying to go for. I get that. I just didn't think it needed to be that competitive. I think that you could have shaved some time. I mean, like this match was almost like I almost forgot that Theo was hurt. But I do see in the chat, and I agree with this. I could see this, but I think I could say I agree with this because Jeffrey points out, you know, who's being Izzy for that championship? It is Tatum, and I agree to that because when Izzy got into the ring first, you could see Tatum like, you know, so obviously this feud is not done. But then here's my follow up question: early in the night, Izzy came out by herself because Sean Spears and extra Nico was tied up somewhere in the back. It reminded me of that episode of I'm sorry, I like to use SpongeBobism. There's that one where SpongeBob is a waiter and Mr. Crab and Patrick is tied up in the freezer somewhere. I forget what Squirrel. I think his name was Squirrel.
Squilly and
SpongeBob's
Fancy Pants.
he's some fancy pants. Matter of fact, it's so funny. Squirrel tried to image him shirtless. He said, "Oh my God, he's hot." I love some old SpongeBob. But that's how I image because then when I see Sean Spear and Nico, not Nico, actually, I'm sorry, that's a content creator. But I see Nico and I'm just like, what the hell were you guys? What are you talking about? Like now you show up? Just I honestly didn't know where these guys were. I thought they were turned into dolls. I didn't know if they were like molds. I don't know where these guys were. I don't know. But when I saw these guys eventually, I said, okay. But yeah, I would have shaved off some time in this match. Izzy Dame as champ. I don't see it as a super long run. So I just say the next time that she faces Tatum and it's for the championship, that's when she drops it. So that's cool. They were banned. Okay, that's what happened. Especially how much time was lost in the beginning. They had much time to scramble, and I'm guessing they had much time. I guess he's talking about the match. Okay. See, I wasn't paying attention to that, Jeffrey. I'm glad that you mentioned that they wasn't banned and they wasn't banned, right? I just thought that Tatum kidnapped him and something like that. So I didn't know if they were banned or anything. Tatum Paxley said last week that she's not done yet.
Oh, she's far from done.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think that kind of says with all respect in the world because she has a chainsaw. That kind of crazy. They're not done until they're until they're done.
They're not done until they say they're done.
Absolutely. What else do we
And
have here?
after that, we had Lola Vice backstage watching everything when the Vanity Project come rolling up to hit on her all at once. And I'm thinking to myself, listen, I know us Cubans were like catnip to boys, well, with Latinas specifically, because them boys do not like to stay away from the spicy flavor that we have. But it's like, you ain't her type, boys. You a little too young and not Hispanic Latino yourselves. Anyways, Hank and Tate come in and make the save and tell them to run off, and they say, the vibe isn't it, and walk off. Tank says NXT's got some new resident douchebags, and Lola Vice said they were about 5 seconds from getting knocked out. And then
I
Lola
believe
says
it
she's
too.
going to go out with Izzy Dame after she finishes up with Kehlani, and the boys are talking her up. Kehlani busts through the doors, takes off her shoes, throws one at Lola, and they start fighting.
Yeah, there we go. I don't think I've ever seen the side of Kalani before. I mean, yeah. So they're going to be fighting next week. What else do we have
And
here?
after that, Joe Hendry goes to Ava Raine looking for a fight against Dion, a no DQ match. She loves his determination, but a no DQ match is just going to turn into a handicap match. And he asks, what if I can find a couple badasses to even the odds? And she says, if you can find the guys, I'll sign the match. Ethan is in the ring, mic in hand. He says he finds it fitting to ring in the new year, celebrating the most dominant superstar of 2025, himself. Last week, he became a big game hunter because he bagged himself a moose and sent that lunkhead back to TNA empty-handed, proving that he's the greatest North American alive. In a few short moments, Oba Femi will defend his title against Leon, but make no mistake, they're not the main event, he is. His title is the most prestigious in all of WWE, and he finds it funny that Oba, as supposed world champion, only defends his title in one part of North America, where Ethan has defended it against challengers from many countries and many companies and brands. And he figures that makes him an international icon. Jasper Troy interrupts, and he says Ethan's not the only one who dominated, and in 2026, he's going to prove that he's the monster of NXT. Josh Briggs comes in, tells Troy to shut his mouth and for Ethan to stop wasting his time with losers like Miles because he's almost as much of a loser as the mouth breathers in the audience. Stacks comes in with Ariana. He says Ethan wants to talk about the importance, but he's the only one from NXT holding TNA gold. He wants to call himself an international icon. Adjust your glasses because Stacks is the TNA International Champion. And then Shiloh Hill comes in. He's glad Stacks is in a better mood than the last time they met, and he's worried that he ruined his Christmas. After he won, Ava and Santino put their heads together, and Shiloh gets a shot at Janet's title next week. Tavion comes
I
in.
just think that's hilarious.
I know it's a lot. He loves the chaos. This is his kind of party. He likes what Shiloh is saying, but it needs more him. Get what he's saying? Next week, Jasper Troy is going to fly air heights and he's going to leave as speed champion. Ethan's had enough, and there's a little brawl that happens. Shiloh stands tall. Ariana runs, slides back into the ring to slap him, but he spins her around, dips her, and accidentally fits his fake tooth onto her chest. She rolls on the floor and freaks out with Channing. This
She
was a
read
lot.
that. She read that, but you watch it in real life, you're like, oh my god, that's got to be embarrassing. Like you see the tooth or the teeth fall out. Oh, oh,
It
Shiloh,
was a lot. I just had to make
Shiloh.
sure I got as much as I could. And yes, I read everything.
I'm gonna be honest.
The
I
only
was
thing
this
I don't read everything of is the matches because we don't go that deep in detail.
No, there's no need to do all that. I was kind of this close when coming for the graphic. I was thinking maybe that should be the picture, but I couldn't find anything. And even then, I was like, well, we kind of want to attract people to come here. We don't want them to be scared and stuff like that. A few things here. You know, there's something intriguing about a Josh Briggs and Troy Jasper match. I guess because they're just two big guys. I was like, I would be interested in watching that.
Two big meaty men slapping meat.
Oh, I love seeing meat slap meat. Wow. No one record
We
that.
haven't said that in a long time on UPR.
I know, right?
And
That's
I just mean
terrible.
that in general from anybody.
Well, what's so funny too is like when you go to these wrestling shows. I know I went to a wrestling show and I remember like hearing a meat chant. I said, "Wow, I'm here to hear people chant about meat." I just thought it was funny that, but I guess because Satino and Ava they talked about it and it was like, "Well, you're defending this." What's it called? The International Championship. I
The
just call it the
TNA
Sky Blue
International.
belt. It's like a Sky Blue championship. I remember like because I don't watch TNA a lot here, guys. I'm very happy for them that they are an AMC. They're on a station that I can watch them on. But I'm just saying, where the hell did this belt come from? I'm sorry. I remember the TNA Legend belt, then they called it the TV Championship. I remember. I mean, I'm glad they still got the championship. Do they still have the not internet? There was like a. It was
The
like a.
Digital Media Championship
Yeah,
belt.
is that still a thing? Is that still a thing? I feel like
Probably, I can check.
I just know that all these other belts. I said I don't remember that. I'm just glad they still got the X Division Championship. Love that belt. But it was a fun segment. You have all these characters come out here and stuff like that, and it was fine.
Oh, it was actually retired early last year.
Was it the digital?
Yes.
Oh,
It was stripped away from Steph Delander. She was the last champion to have it. And
okay.
The TNA International Championship has replaced it.
Okay. All right. Cool. Cool. Because I remember them doing that for a while, and I just didn't remember. I remember the belt, but I don't have any like history with it because I just heard of it and don't know what's going on here. We got Jeffrey, who says that haven't watched in a while. It's a shame because my girl Maya. I always say her name
Mara.
right.
Mara Sade.
Mara. I know the Sade of Mara is on it. Well, I mean, you have an opportunity. I don't know if you have AMC or stuff like that, but check it out. We're going to be doing a review after the very first episode of TNA on AMC. So please be there. I haven't watched TNA since 2013. I feel like that way for me too. It's been a long time. I remember watching like I don't want to say religiously, but enough was when they were on the same network as Ring of Honor, and I would watch Ring of Honor and then TNA. They would open up a Ring of Honor and then TNA would close. And I forget what year that was. We got the one Stack has replaced it. Oh, that belt, the Sky Blue belt.
Yes, the TNA
Yes.
International Championship is the belt that replaced the Digital Media Championship.
Okay, that's fine. I mean, that's cool. What else do we have here, Sabrina?
So we get Joe Hendry, and he's asking OTM for help
I
against
love
Dark
this.
State.
I love this.
They're not interested because they only care about going after the tag titles. And I'm thinking to myself, they're the ones that have the belts, dumbasses. But Joe says if they help him out, they'll get a direct line to the tag titles, and then they change their mind and they'll see him next week. Like, seriously. I know your names are out the mud, but did your heads get bashed into the mud so hard that y'all forgot that Dark State held the belts?
You know what? I love this though. I love this. A few things. I mean, because I hear what you're saying. You're like pretty much like, dude, you have an opportunity to attack the tag team champions, and now you have a direct line to them. But OTM is like pretty much like, yo, this has nothing to do with us. They kind of like they want to do their own thing. But now this is starting to make sense, and I like this a lot because I remember something we were talking about, us in the chat, and like it was like, well, Dark State of Hills, OTM of Hills, but now you have
Well, I
this
wouldn't call them
opportunity.
necessarily heels. I feel like they're more, they feel like tweeners now more.
Talk about OTM, and I could go with that. I can understand that. To me, they're faces because they beat up Chase University, so they've won me over. So I just want to throw that out there. But
Anybody who beats up Chase University is a face to you. I'm just gonna put that out there.
thank you. But I love this. I think OTM this should be their year to win some tag team gold. I think they're such a great act, and I love this for them. I really do. I like that. Everyone's saying that they're tweeners. Okay, that's fine with me. I mean, a lot of times it's either face or heel, but tweener, that's cool with me too. My point is they should be in that tag team conversation. They should go for the championships. You should put the titles on them and let them have a run. The crowd likes them. Like I said, they're just a. I like that for them. I do like this for them. Where's Mr. Cat? You know what this cat is doing? I'm going to tell you right now. This cat is sleeping in my bed by the pillow. You are a cat. I'm going to go get him. Give me a second. Let me go get him. You, baby, come here. Come here. The people want to see you. Come here. Ah! God, lose some weight. Ah. Ah. You're so heavy.
You're so
Nope.
cute. The little
Say hi to the people.
baby.
Say hi to the people, baby. You got all
The
fat.
little baby.
Oh, now you. His birthday's in March. We gotta figure out something that we're gonna do for your birthday. What we're gonna do for your birthday? What do you mean drink alcohol? You're too young for that. What's wrong with you, Mr. Cat? Now get out of here. Yeah, we're gonna plan something for his birthday. We're gonna have the birthday celebration for my son. We're gonna figure out something. Okay, now he's just sitting there. He's just right there. See, everyone's saying hi to you, Mr. Cat. People love you. They don't want to see me. They want to see you. See, there we go, Mr. Cat. Don't yell at him, sir. I'm not yelling at him. You know what he did? He bit my toe 2 weeks ago, and I bit his toe back. I said, "How dare you do that?" And he was very stunned that I was doing that. So I'm a very wacky owner. So that's what we do. And now he's going back on the bed. Please not on the clothes.
He
Thank
likes
you.
your scent. It makes him feel like home.
I hope he likes what you call it because I'm too busy feeding him and
Well,
cleaning
they
up
do
after him.
say that cats dream about your voice, your scent, your touch, reliving the good stuff kind of thing. So that's like what their dreams are
Well,
supposedly 95% of the time.
Well, I always compliment you because you send me stuff so I know what I need to do with my cat and whatnot. Now he's laying right back by the pillow. Like, okay, that's nice. I'm just gonna have fur on my face here. Um, we got good Chris. He says my sister Natasha have two cats, and my sister Delta has two cats. Well, cats are lovely. They're fantastic. They once you earn their trust and stuff, I'm still have to re-earn his trust. I think I kind of broke a little bit of that, but I love my cat. He is. I tell people I had depression, and I slowly came over it, and he was one of the things on why I overcame that. So I love my cat. That's why I always talk to him. I kiss him, and I tell him I love him. But I tell him all the time too when I'm eating my food, you can't eat this because you're a cat, and I feed him his little food. But that's enough about my love for my cat, who is now asleep. What do we got next here? One, Sabrina
So we
Estella.
had Fatal Influence run into Zaruka. They're bickering about who has titles and whatnot. They're just going back and forth about that.
Mm-hmm.
Ollie the Ethan Page runs into Miles Bourne, who's chatting with Tate Wilder, and chews Miles out for not helping him out, and Wilder for being an evolved guy. And of course, commentary hypes up some of the things that are going to be happening next week. And we see TNA president Carlos Silva in the crowd as Leon Slater is making his entrance.
You know what? I have renamed him Sad Silver. I call him Sadlos. Look at him. Look at this guy. Sadlos Silver. Wait till we talk about him. Just I, I I'm gonna give you the floor, but real quick. I think a lot of us thought so. I was talking to the executive consultant. And as we were talking earlier today, he was talking about there's a great chance for one Leon Slater to win. And I said, there is always, I think in wrestling, there's always a great chance about someone winning a match and stuff like that. I think the greatest example is Jinder Mahal winning the WWE Championship, and he held it for what, over 100 days, right? And there's many other examples you can think of, but come the top of my head, that's what I think of. So I was like, there is a chance for Leon to win, but I also thought about this company, and this company is very petty. Like, look, I watch WWE, been watching them for years, never going to stop watching WWE, but WWE is petty. I think that they could have done something different with Leon winning, especially with them having that TV deal with AMC. But they went on and then just had Oba beat this guy. Oba came out, and it was time. I said I think Oba wins because I just think this
Listen,
company's petty.
Oba Femi is the ruler of NXT, and he does
Oh,
not hold
Lula.
back and show no mercy.
Mm-hmm. No, you don't. No, not at
So
all.
anybody that's going to get in the ring with him, it's like the equivalent of when Javon went up against Gunther in the last time is now tournament.
Yeah. Yeah. Wait, I'm sorry. Say that again. I'm sorry. I want to make sure. I think I misheard that, huh?
That it's very reminiscent of when Javon went up against Gunther for the last time is
Oh,
now
yeah.
tournament.
Well, you know what the difference with that one is that we knew Gunther was going to beat this kid. I think here there was that small percentage because especially with Oba being called up to the main roster, right? You're like, well, is he going to go to the main roster with the NXT Championship? Which he could do because Kevin Owens did that back in the day. 2015, he did that. So he could
They
have did
had
that. But again,
Alba and Isla go up with the NXT Tag Team Chip. No, wait, not. They went.
they did. Yeah, yeah.
They
I
had
forgot about
somebody
that.
go up with the NXT Women's Tag Team Championship
No, it was
before they got
them.
unified.
No, it was them, and then Ronda and Shayna just killed these girls. Yeah,
Unfortunately.
yeah, yeah.
And then one of them is no longer in wrestling at all, and the other one is still wrestling, just in the independents.
Hmm. I thought the match was. I thought the match was fine. I
It was
felt like there
solid.
was a. I thought there was a gear that they could have went on. I think if there was on like a takeover, or I say takeover, I'm sorry, you see where my mind is at. But like one of those like PLE events or something like that, I think they would have went crazy. But I thought these guys went out there and they killed it. I thought this was. I was really excited about this match. I said this is going to be a fun match, and I wanted to see where were they going to go in this direction. And Over just flat out beat this kid. Like this kid, I mean, I thought the kid looked good. Oh my God, Jeffrey, yes, like I love that. Like,
Definitely a top five hardest choppers you hear in WWE ever.
yeah, oh yeah, no doubt. When he does it on the apron and he runs up and go bop, I'm like, ooh. So yeah, no,
And moments like that make me glad that I don't wrestle. Because I'm going to deal with that from some of the women who hit tough as hell. Uh-uh.
yeah, no, a
Imagine
chop is
having that
a
for my
chop.
30th birthday. Oh, no.
Ooh, Yeah, no, those chops you don't want to
Yeah,
get
no,
too into it.
when you're a wrestler, it's not fun on your birthday, especially when you go to a wrestling show and work, because everybody chops you,
Uh,
especially
yeah,
the number of age you go and be. So imagine
no, that
me
yeah,
last
yeah.
year taking 30 chops here, and I don't wrestle.
Well, how do you think the executive consultant would feel if he went to one of those things and this year he gets 65 chops?
Well, I mean, he doesn't wrestle a lot. He mainly did ring announcing, so
Yeah, I still think he should get chopped. I kind of want to wish that into
maybe I
existence.
can find those videos of him wrestling and send them to you, like I send them the dice. He was so happy when I sent him those.
I bet he was, and he's never happy. But yeah, no, this was fine. Seeing Ober leave the championship in the ring now makes you go, "What's gonna happen?" But then you see in the background Tony D'Angelo. Now, I ask you guys if that's something you would like to see Tony D'Angelo become a Grand Slam and NXT win that championship because he stands there, he wants that championship, and mm, I don't know. I don't know where this goes from here. You got Ricky, he wants a champion, he wants the championship. You have Tony in the background, and I'm pretty sure there's some other names that I'm missing here, but like
Well, I mean, everybody's at the end of the day, everybody's gunning for the big gold.
Ricky Saints versus Tony D'Angelo, and I think if they go that route, because like, what is Tony like? Is he a face? Is he a heel?
I
Like,
mean,
I don't even know.
technically, Tony is still a face because last time we saw him, he got betrayed by Stacks. So,
Yeah, but he literally slammed Javon for no reason, and
well,
then he
when you
slammed
want something, you're
Ethan.
gonna do whatever it takes to get it. At the end of the day,
Who
I feel
stands
like
the
he's just
most?
a.
I'm sorry, I was highlighting Jeffrey. Who stands the most, Nico or Tony D? No one's beating Nico. Nico just stands there. Nico is just always there. Like he's just there. Like he just stands there. Nico is the
Wait, wait,
stand.
wait, 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 wait,
It's the
wait, wait.
standard.
Jeff, Jeffrey, do you want to see me get chopped 30 times?
No, you know what he
Are
meant?
you trying to kill me?
No, he wants to see the EC footage. I
Oh, of
promise that
course.
he's
I can send that to this one, then he can send it to you.
yeah. Well, I have no problem. No problem. But I'm interested in seeing what the direction is for the NXT Championship now with Oba. And I would ask you guys here. I think we've had this conversation before, but where do you want to see Oba? He's going to the main roster. I'd like to see him on SmackDown, but it seems like now that they have Trick and um who else do they have? I feel like there's a Joe. I'm hearing Joe is on SmackDown. Joe Henry is on SmackDown. I didn't even know he got called up. But I don't know what they want to do here. But I would like him on SmackDown just to keep him away from Gunther. Personally, I just think that that's a match you could get to eventually. But I would keep them on separate brands. Hell, I would even tease at the Royal Rumble. This is something that they have done before, where they had two entities and they don't touch; they just stare at each other. Don't like what Bianca and Jay did. What 2 years ago? Do something like that. But I just keep them away from each other. Don't. Matter of fact, more recent example: Braun Breaker and Jacob Fatu on an episode of Monday Night Raw, and they just stared at each other, but they never touched. So that's something I would do. I would just do everything I could to keep them away from each other. So when they eventually do, when the two bulls lock horns, it's kind of a big deal. But I would keep Ober away from Gunther. Well, if you ask Sabrina for a chop,
No,
that's what Jeffrey says.
no.
Ober Femi on
I know
SmackDown
too
and
many
Fuji.
female wrestlers, and a lot of them do chop pretty hard. So the answer is a big fat no.
He said, "Big fat no." Javon got called up during the commercial. Yeah, I know. I couldn't watch it because, like I said, I was saying earlier on the stream, um, I'm poor, so like I get commercials with my Netflix. I would call up over at the Royal Rumble and Y2J. I see Y2J I said debut returning at the Rumble. I see that being a thing. I think a lot of people were
A lot
upset
of
that he
people
wasn't
see
back.
that.
Yeah, a lot of
I
people were
am
upset.
just a little sad that the Rumble is in Riyadh this year for one reason and one reason only. And I know the girls and the gays and every LGBTQ wrestler span in between knows what I'm going to say.
Hmm.
The women will have to cover up and they cannot be as cute with their gear as they normally are. And
You know, mhm.
I know why they got to do it, but it's like we saw the pictures we saw the faces of the women when that got mentioned they were gonna do more stuff over there. It's like, oh boy, basically.
I will say this. So I'm a guy, but like I've thought that some of the girls and some of their outfits, they've come up with some creative ones. Jay comes to mind with one, and I think it was like storm related and stuff
I
like
mean,
that. So they
nothing wrong with being creative with it. I just feel like
Mhm.
sometimes a lot of them are gonna wind up looking very similar because
Right.
that part is very limited.
Understood. My thing about this year's Rumble is that so one of the things we like to do at the Big Pop Theory podcast, and we're gonna make a return for audio this week. And we took a little bit of sabbatical because it was the holidays, but like we like to go on right after the pay per view or PLE, but it's gonna be at 2 in the afternoon. I work on Saturday, so I won't be catching it live. I guess I'll just have to catch it after. So that's my only thing is the time for me personally, because selfishly I would like to watch it during, and then go live after. But don't look like that's going to be a thing on Saturday. But we hope to do a prediction show about the Rumble. We got uh Jeffrey said Bianca is returning at the Royal Rumble and winning it. I could see her winning it. I could see it. Jeffrey, we don't know if Bianca is going to win the Royal Rumble. A guy can fantasy book George. I read that. Like, yeah, yeah, let him fantasy book. Hopefully, Bianca does come back because I think that women division definitely needs her and they miss her. So, yeah, I could see her coming back. Um, but that's the show. I want to thank you guys in the chat. I mean, it's always a good time to talk about some wrestling and many other things that come on top of our mind. Like we talked about Hello Kitty and why she don't have a damn mouth. It's terrible. Um, but it's always great doing the show with you, one sensational Sabrina and Stella. So with that said, let me just do some plugs here about the stuff and the content that we're going to be doing here on Unpopular Review. This was the first NXT episode of the year. Yesterday, the Monday Night Raw crew, they did a fantastic job. One, Z the Silent and the executive consultants. Shout out to these gentlemen. And tomorrow, you can catch the All Elite Heat crew, and they talk about everything that is dynamite. Is Cactus Katie? It is the sheriff, and I don't know if they're going to be doing a show on Friday. SmackDowns now are 3 hours, but you can catch, and he is in the chat here. Shout out to one Matt Mad Dog Kelly. He says Liv is going to win the Rumble. Okay, I don't see that personally, but okay. And but him and Venomous Venny, they're going to be reviewing SmackDown. I don't know if it's going to be Friday night or if they're going to do it for Saturday, but the plan is that they are going to review SmackDown. Look forward to that because they're going to be in Germany this week, and they have a big championship match. Cody Rhodes going against Drew McIntyre in 3 stages of hell. So that should be an interesting review. George says the thing is who's going to be in the Women's Royal Rumble. I mean, I think you got
As
your
long as they don't
main
tell us, I'll be fine with it.
I think you got your mainstays, and I think we're gonna get some NXT features in there, like how they did last year. I thought it was cool that they had Lash and Jada. Um, God,
Well, now Nia's gonna have some backup in the Rumble, and it's not going to screw her over in the end, like every other time that's happened.
oh yeah, Jack. I think Jacy needs a new shirt called Stand Up for Jacy Jayne" in Booker T's voice. I agree. I think it's time for her to get a new shirt. I totally agree. Those are the shows that we have for the wrestler side entertainment. We are rebuilding and rebranding at the moment, but when some content is available, we'll get pass it along to you guys. So you guys, if you are interested in stuff on entertainment about movies, television shows, and things like that, tune in and join in there. But Sabrina Stella, you have content. You've been doing some really great stuff for many years. Your channel continues to grow, and we love that for you. Please tell the people what you do.
Well, you can go to my YouTube channel, The Unofficial Camera Woman, where I go throughout Central Florida and occasionally South and record all things indie wrestling related, which may or may not sometimes include some of your favorites that have been on TV.
Love that. Like I said earlier, we're doing the Big Pop Theory podcast. The audio will be back. We should upload a episode Sunday in the afternoon for the audio, the YouTube stuff. We're trying to figure out things because we loved what we were doing about retro content, but a lot of that stuff has been removed from Peacock, and I know they're moving some stuff to YouTube. So Once all that stuff is settled and we can get some more content where we know we can review some things and stuff like that, we'll get back onto the YouTube because I did have a good time doing that. And I want to give a shout out to the boys, Mark Wins, the smartest man in the room, Rich Kings, and Jean Baptiste, and also one Shay Soy. I was chatting with her a little bit during the NXT stuff, so I wanted to shout out to my little team over there, and helping make such a really fun brand because I always like what we do there because it's just fun. We got thank you. Yeah, shout out to the Big Pop. Thank you. We got Mad Dog who says Jacy Jayne needs to be called to SmackDown. I would put her on Raw. I just don't. I mean, I know the SmackDown division, but I'm just saying we gotta switch it up. Like everyone can't just go to SmackDown. I think some people could go to Raw too, and whatnot. Let's spread the wealth a little bit here. Let's spread the wealth.
And give some contenders for the women's IC title.
Yes. Like I think Jordan Grace, I don't know, but part of me thinks she's going to SmackDown. I can't even tell you what my thought process on that is. Why, you know, I don't know. I think she's going to SmackDown now. What I mean, maybe it's a change. Maybe with the talk about Blake Monroe being called up, maybe she's going to SmackDown. I don't know, but let's spread it a little bit. Let some people go to Raw, let some people go to SmackDown. You know, let's switch it up a little bit. Brock's advocate, Mark wins. Yes, Mark, his wild booking is fantastic. I love that guy. I've been friends with him for many years, and sometimes when he says things, I immediately go, what are we even chatting about, man? But that's the show. We're not gonna make it any longer. We want to thank you guys. We'll see you again for next week's show. But tune in tomorrow for All Elite Heat with Cactus Katie and the Sheriff, and we'll see you guys this Thursday for the award show. Tune in at 8ish. She's going to be hosting. Z, the sound is going to be hosting. And I'm going to be there. And I'm probably just going to be running my mouth. So we appreciate you guys. Hope that you have a great start of your week. And we'll hit this up real quick. Jordan was feuding with Jade online, so that could be a tease. But that's the thing. It's a tease, so we don't know nothing for sure. Maybe she sees something on Raw and she's going like, you know what? No, I'm going to go to Raw. But I think that's the fun thing about all this. We don't know. You know, I hear people sometimes and they're like, I know this, I know that. Like, who told you this? And they'll say, my sources in the fucking cabin. Like, what sources do you have? You don't have to sit here and lie to us. Anyway, guys, I'm going to start yelling. I'm going to leave. We'll see you guys next week.